Hey guys, it's day 2 of Booktubeathon, and it's already 11:30 at night, and this is the first time I am talking and giving an update. So I'm going to probably kind of make a vlog for the next like 3 days instead of doing a daily one, because just more stuff is happening in my day-to-day life, so I will just not be able to update as much. Like today, my parents are visiting, so we just had a lot of family stuff, so I wasn't really having time to record updates. But I did do some reading today. I finished A Walk to Remember, and I have to say, I mean, I haven't fully decided the stars, but I'm thinking somewhere between 2 to 3 stars, because it's definitely below average for me. I had read this book back when it came out, like probably 1999, 2000, and I remember really loving it back then. Obviously, I kept the book this long and like always thought it was one of my favorite books, and I'm reading it this time, and I don't know, it just, I'm a lot different point in my life and everything, but it was just kind of boring. Like the first half, like first 100 some pages, I was just like completely uninterested in what was going on. And then when it's supposed to be a romance, but like the romance did not really happen at all until very far in the story, so it didn't really feel like a natural progression into the romance. It felt like no connection, and bam, love, like, kind of thing. And it's not really like something I think is legitimate, like I feel like there's a little bit more of a process there, a little natural thing that should happen instead of going straight to love. And then how Nicholas Sparks always kind of like puts something in to make you cry and upset, and I feel like when it is organic to the story, it's really powerful and it does make me cry. He's made me cry before, but in this one it didn't really feel organic. It just felt like I'm just gonna throw this like big twist in there so that I can make a bunch of people sob. So it didn't make me sad. I mean, not that it didn't make me sad. Like, if you know what the sad thing is, it is sad, and like I wasn't like happy about it, but I also wasn't feeling completely invested in the characters to be like to the point of crying. So I'm thinking somewhere between 2 to 3 stars. I'll make up my mind later, but it was kind of a downer way to start Booktubeathon, but oh well. So I also listened to a little more of Ready Player One. Today I'm listening to this on audio. I actually just like spent some time on the treadmill, and often I listen to my audiobooks when I do my walking. So I'm up to, I think, chapter 6. So I'm not progressing super fast, but there's just time I just haven't had a lot of time for audiobooks today. And I'm glad though that I am listening to this on audio, because I feel like if I had listened to or read it, it would have been harder for me to get into, because this beginning part is just a lot of like explanation of the world, and I think I would have found it kind of boring if I was reading it. But because I'm listening to Will Wheaton's voice, it's going a lot faster for me and a lot more interesting, because I am a fan of Will Wheaton, because obviously I'm a child of the 80s and grew up watching him. I don't think I have the same as a lot of I'm not a Star Trek fan, so I didn't know him from that growing up, but I was a big fan of the movie Stand By Me, and so I remember him from that. And then I also watched some of his other movies like Toy Soldiers and some others that like were things that I was interested back in like the 80s, early 90s. So hearing his voice and talking about some of those things from my childhood in the 80s, I really enjoy. Like that he just recently, the story mentioned the movie Some Kind of Wonderful, which was like my favorite movie in high school, which obviously came out a lot. Like, I was a fan of 80s movies in the late 90s when I was in high school. So they weren't like from my childhood, but we just watched a lot of the 80s movies at that point. So Some Kind of Wonderful was like a big, like, something I really loved at that time. So it's kind of fun, like, hearing some of those things I loved. And then the other thing that I started today, after I finished Walk to Remember, I picked up my next book, which is The Forbidden Library by Django Wexler. I've only read the first chapter because I've only had like a little time at the end of the evening to read it, but I'm loving it. Just like from one chapter, I'm hoping that that continues and that this is like something I just breeze through and adore. It's giving me that Inkheart vibe, and Inkheart, I really loved the book Inkheart, but then the series kind of, it's a trilogy, and as the trilogy went on, I think it kind of lost some of the magic, and it wasn't as exciting as a whole trilogy as the like first installment was. So I'm really hoping, this one's also a series, I don't remember how many there are, I think there's like 4 or something. I'm really hoping this one can keep the magic going and make me invested in it, so that it kind of be like, it takes it the next step. So I'm getting those vibes and hoping that it'll continue to be really entertaining. I feel like this is something I could fly through really quick though, so I'm hoping that tomorrow I can just read the whole thing. We'll see, because I do have like my family still here tomorrow, so I don't know how much time I'll have, but if I'm up with my daughter really early in the morning, I have some time to read there, because I also have an ebook version of this on, I can't remember if it's on Scribd or something, I don't know. It's on, oh no, it's on one of my library apps. So I do have the ebook of this as well, so I can listen to or read it on my phone while I'm holding my daughter if she wakes up early. So though that is the plan tomorrow, is to focus on that, and then obviously whenever I'm like out walking or doing chores or whatever, I'll listen to more Ready Player One. So that's my plan. So I hope you guys have been enjoying Booktubeathon so far, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Hey guys, so it's day 3, Wednesday of Booktubeathon, and once again it is like 11 o'clock at night, and I have not vlogged all day, and I've done a pretty bad job of reading as well. And a lot of that is, I wasn't really thinking ahead about this week and the fact that my parents are visiting. You know, when my parents are visiting, obviously we spend time visiting. And we also are a big card playing family, so the last 2 nights we've been staying up to 11 playing cards. And so then that takes away like my evening reading time, because often I will read after the kids go to bed, and those are my like few hours of reading for the day. Well, I am losing that time, so I feel like I'm a little behind, but they're leaving in the morning, so hopefully the rest of the week will be a little more productive. And also today was kind of a crazy day, because we kind of made some big like decisions, life decisions. So my husband and I have been talking about moving back to Ohio for a while now. We're originally from Ohio, lived there most of our lives, and have lived in Illinois for almost 8 years now. But like, we're just not really suburbanites. Like, we're just realizing we need a little more land, and like, we're just a little more rural people. And so we want to have, like, move somewhere where we can have a little more land, and Ohio is a great place to do that, because we can get some land for a good amount of money, and we have friends and family that still live in Ohio, so it's kind of like a good decision. But the thing is, like, you know, like most people, they get a job and then they go and look for houses and move, but my husband works from home, so we can move anywhere at any time, and that actually makes it a lot harder, because then we have to like really think, what do we want, like, and then we are kind of like, oh, we don't want to compromise, because we can pretty much move anywhere and into any house. So it's just making it like it's taking us longer. But today, like, well, so recently we've been really thinking about doing it soon. So we've been looking at houses in areas in Ohio that we like, and today we found a house we really liked, and we're like, man, but it's just really sad that we can't like just go and look at it, because it's a 6-hour drive away, and you know, like, by the time we would get there it'd probably already be sold, and we're just having that problem. And so we're like, wouldn't it be great if we could sell our house, know how much we get from it, know how much we'd have for a down payment, and be in Ohio to look at these houses when they come on the market. And so we were talking to my parents today, and my parents own a condo in Ohio where we used to live. My parents now live in South Carolina as retired people, and so like they still own a condo in the place where we used to live. And my dad was like, well, why don't you just move into the condo? Sell your house, move into the condo, and use it to look for houses. And we're like, that's amazing that they would offer like their second home, basically, like that we can just use for a few months. I mean, it's small, but you know, we can live cramped. Like, we were thinking about renting like just a small apartment anyways, but this is even nicer because it's completely furnished and has stuff. So it made us think like we can do this faster than we thought. So we called our realtor and got the ball rolling, like, and asked him to come and check out the house, see what we needed to do, like, in terms of improvements to put it on the market. So this thing's moving fast now. We could be in Ohio whenever we sell this house and move to the condo and start looking for places there. So that also kind of kept me from reading because I was really like thinking, what all do we have to do? Oh my gosh, there's so much like organization, looking through things, getting rid of stuff, you know, all that like moving stuff that we now have to actually start doing, and doing with like 2 small children. So it's just a lot to think about. So I haven't done much reading. So I really didn't touch my audiobook at all today, as in did not touch it at all. But I did read a little more about more of the Forbidden Library today. I'm up to, I think, page 100. So a little ways, which, okay, let me just show you my bookmark really quick because it is super cute. So my bookmark is a bookworm. Isn't that the cutest thing? And this book is about a forbidden library, so I just thought it was fitting, and it makes me chuckle. So I love it. And when I read the description of this book, the 2 things it mentioned that I was really interested in was a forbidden library and a talking cat. And that was why I put it in Booktubeathon as the challenge for things you would like to do, because I'm like, I would like to go to a forbidden library and I would like to talk to a cat. You know, simple pleasures in life. And so I started reading this book, and today I finally got my first glimpse of the library. And the library, to me, like when it's written here, I'm picturing the Hall of Prophecy from Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix, which is kind of funny because obviously the Hall of Prophecy doesn't have books, it has prophecies, but it had, like, for some reason, the way he describes it in this, it has that similar feel of kind of like dark, and you can't see what's around the next corner. You're kind of like in that the area you are immediately in and seeing what's on those shelves and all that stuff, and that it feels like a labyrinth and all that stuff. So that's the feeling I get from the library. And I was like, I need to get to the talking cat. I really want to meet it. And we just met the talking cat. And it is everything I imagined. He's smug and mocking and rude. And exactly what a cat would be like if a cat could talk. And I love it. I'm like, just like so excited about this cat being a main character. I really hope the cat is a part of the whole book, because I'm just loving his smart remarks and his back talk. He's just everything, because I'm a huge cat fan and I always picture what a cat would be thinking and saying, and this is how I would imagine a cat would talk. Yeah, you know, using a person for basically what they want and just being rude. Like, that's how I imagine cats are if they could talk, but yet still wanting to snuggle up to get what they want. So I'm excited that we have met the cat, and I am interested to keep reading, though it is very late, so I probably will just read like one short chapter before I go to bed and then pick it up in the morning. And hopefully, now that my parents are leaving tomorrow, which is sad because, you know, obviously it gives me a little break from the kids and I get to like hang out with my parents, but it gives me more time to read in the evening. So hopefully I will get back on track, because I feel like I'm behind in my Booktubeathon stuff. But, you know, it's family. They come first before Booktubeathon. And my parents found out this visit that I have a Booktube channel, and my dad just subscribed, and it was so cute. But now I have my dad as a subscriber. Yay! Alright, so that'll be fun. So he could be watching this video when it's posted. That's very exciting. So anyways, good times. Hopefully tomorrow I'll get some reading done. I will see you guys later. Hopefully you guys are doing some good reading yourselves. Bye.